We're going to talk to our friend Scott Jensen, who is the co-founder and CEO of Rhythm Superfoods. Scott, it's been a while.
Thank you very much.
Good to see you. Good to see you. Scott, for the people who don't know, just give us a little once-over on Rhythm Superfoods.
Well, Rhythm started as a kale chip company about 9 years ago.
Kale before kale was popular?
Kale before it was popular. Then we figured out that there was a lot of other people making kale. We're kind of like the #1 kale company in the country, still selling a lot of kale. But 3 or 4 years ago, we knew there had to be life after kale. So we've done a pretty good job of developing some new vegetable and fruit-based products, manufacturing everything down in this super rich North American garden around the Bajío region of Mexico. So everything we make is organic, and we've got some new stuff that we're launching this year. A lot of R&D.
So tell me a little bit about R&D for Rhythm Superfoods. When you make a product, what are the sort of the core tenets of a product that make you sort of understand that this is going to be great and on brand?
Yeah, we go through that exercise, once a year to make sure we're still on track and the rails are clean. Mostly we look at every fruit and vegetable that's available to us in the world, and that we can grow it sustainably in our, with one of our.
You've looked at the guanabana?
I don't even know what a guanabana is.
That's a long-tail fruit.
Okay, we've not tried that one yet, but we challenge our R&D people. We've got 4 full-time people that just do nothing but work on product development, and we run it through one of our 4 different technologies that are dehydration in its quintessential form, but they're different technologies. Try to figure out which one is it going to sustain the most amount of nutrients. Like, we're not doing things with yellow corn or white potatoes, so we're choosing fruits and vegetables that have a high level of fruit vitamins and phytonutrients, so that we're delivering in a snack form something that does have this better for you nutrition panel.
And we just talked to Patrick Schnettler from 12 Tides Seaweed, and he talked about the importance of taste and said that is absolutely the most important thing for a food. Do you agree with that? Or?
It is. And so, coming from the world of kale, which kale by itself is not the tastiest thing,
yeah.
Right? So we have to do something to make it taste better. So if you think about the kale that we make, it's like, it starts with a bowl full of kale, if you will, like 14, 16 ounces of fresh kale, destemmed. And then we have these sauces that are like salad dressings. And those salad dressings, when mixed with the kale and then dehydrated, give one of the flavors, whether it's a cheesy flavor or it's an Indian flavor, or Cool Ranch is one of our most popular flavors. So we're delivering that sauce, and that sauce itself, the base is sunflower seeds, which has fiber and protein. So we're trying to deliver an alternate flavor to something that might not be wonderful. But our fruits don't need that because they're
right.
delicious and sweet and yummy and tart.
Now, the flavors that you mentioned, I would call those sort of the mainstream of snacking flavors. Do you find that if you were to introduce something new and a better for you snack, that it has a lesser audience just because of the amount of training that has to be done? I mean, because you mentioned very accessible flavors.
We thought originally, I think we were right, that kale was esoteric. Mm-hmm. It was binary. You either loved it or you hated it, and the people that love it are really into nutrition. But we needed to make something that was accessible to them, and the flavor was what we brought in to make it accessible. We're launching these wonderful cauliflower bites this year. We make them in a really special way. They're crunchy and light and fluffy. But even though cauliflower is finding its mark on the stage right now, it's still a little bit, polarizing for people. Like, kids either like it or they don't. Moms either like it or they don't. So we've got some accessible flavors there, like a white cheddar. We've got the buffalo ranch flavor and a sea salt flavor. So when you get into those things that are a little bit out there, you have to pull something back in so that the consumers can gravitate towards it.
When you were the first kale chip on the market, when you were the Lone Rangers out there, how was it? And did you, when competition started to sort of pour in, was that a good thing, or was it something that you were kind of like, oh no?
Well, We thought we were the first ones, and we may have been, but the other two people that we found out were making kale chips at the same time on the East Coast and West Coast were like arguing with us who was the original, who was the first. But we didn't know. We were selling.
It's a good story that you're the first one.
We were selling
It's
ours
not important.
into our region, and we didn't travel to the West Coast to see who else was making kale chips.
Right.
But within a year, a grab for shelf space ensued, and there wasn't room for 17 kale chip companies.
Now, did the original 3, just like the original 6 of the NHL, survive?
There's one of them still doing really well, and the products are pretty good. One of the other ones on the West Coast didn't survive, but I still love those people. And we all competed in a really kind way. We wanted our shelf space, but we also had to win at retail in order to survive.
Well, Scott, you're an innovator, and your company is innovative. What other innovations in the food space excite you? What are the trends that you're really bullish on right now?
Before I just saw the seaweed snacks.
I hope he wins.
It's so good, man. There's a couple of people that I know in Austin, Adam Grossman, that did the seaweed bath company, that was talking to me 6 months ago, and he's like, hey man, you've only looked at the farms that are using soil. You really need to start looking at what's coming from the sea. So I'm starting to gravitate towards that and trying to figure out what our product development team can do with things that are coming from the sea. Some of it's very salty. It's a little bit sea flavored, if you will. But that's what I'm looking at.
Awesome. Well, hey, Scott, it's been really great having you on, and I wish you and Rhythm Superfoods the best of luck, and come see us again.
Great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to hit subscribe and ring that bell.